FedEx full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, ain't no need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Command is moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. KDot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with a city in mind. Join the damn squad, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, or shit is shit. KDot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast, more specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is KDot. This episode is the preview against the New York Giants. This is going to be at New York at MetLife. So we're going to preview that, give you our predictions for it. We're also touching on Hard Knocks that took place episode 2. We'll talk about our thoughts on that. And then the All-22 review, as we always do, featuring KDot. Against the Minnesota Vikings. We lost 31-0, so we're going to have to go through that in a common mailbag, as we always do. So before we begin this episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and KDot.
Always know that driving through the state of Ohio is a fucking pain in the ass. And then also, if you're using Tesla's self-driving feature, don't do it in the snow. And it's this year!
Share this shit. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, beginning with Hard Knocks, episode 2, which honestly I did not want to watch. Again, we lost to the Vikings 31-0, but was like, okay, we're running the podcast. Let's go ahead and watch it. Ended up being a pretty emotional watch because the center storyline you would think would be Jayden Daniels if we ended up playing well. It ended up being Zach Ertz because he ends up tearing his ACL. And it was honestly, KDot, for me, I just said it, very tough watch knowing what was coming. You could see the light at the end of the tunnel. He talks about how he wants to get as much out of his career as possible right now, knowing the end is near. And then for that to happen on Sunday was brutal. What was your take?
The HBO producers were happy, left all of us sad. You're right. The light at the end of the tunnel, we could see it. We knew it wasn't freedom. It was a goddamn freight train. It sucked. That sucked to see. But shit, damn near Emmy Award-winning television, in all honesty, right? Like, that was riveting. It sucked that, like, they isolated him this episode, and for this to be the case that happens. Although, I did have questions of why he was the only tight end in that room.
I had that same question.
I was like, where are the other guys? Like, is that why Ben can't get any time? Like, they're going over film in that room. But no, the Zach, like, that, it sucked. And, yeah, I mean, everybody, because it's not just the Zach Ertz. It's like we know what's going to happen with the outcome of this game. Like, we know there's no good things. We know what happened in the last episode. We know Dan Quinn talking about how we're lost, now we're not lost, whatever the fuck. And it just went to shit. So, like, it just felt, here goes Hard Knocks. Not necessarily embarrassing us again, but making us feel terrible.
Yeah. Not a whole lot more to be said than that. They, of course, featured Jayden a little bit. And it was cool to see that, words traveling around Jayden Daniels, and you can see that the Cowboys are like, oh, what's up with Jayden? Oh, he's practicing again. Kid's got some motion to him, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy so far this season. It was cool to see that morning walkthrough that we hear a lot about with Cliff and Jayden in the morning. That frustrated you, seeing the morning walkthrough?
And it's like, I'm seeing the walkthrough, and the only thing I'm saying is like, get rid of the ball now! just throw it now! Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, if you guys are doing that much, then why the fuck can't you get rid of the goddamn football as quickly as you are? I'm like, I see you're practicing.
Yeah.
And Cliff looks like, I don't know, man. It's like, watching that episode, it was, but like you said, it was cool to see that Jayden's kind of the boogeyman. Right? Like, that was kind of dope, that he does strike fear in the hearts of some of these other guys. So, like, that's awesome. The fact that they are talking about him on that level should make us all feel good as far as a fan base. But overall, just knowing what the outcome of that game was going to be, it feels frustrating to know if any of the preparation or anything is going to result in 0 points. And you got to watch the entire episode knowing that.
Yeah, and once again, he's not going to play this week, and we'll get more into that in the preview. Any other thoughts over here, KDot, on this episode before we move over to the All-22?
Please, guys, give me something to root for and be happy about while watching these episodes.
Well, they're not going to talk a lot about draft order on there, but they're giving you something there. So with that, let's go over to the All-22 review featuring our very own KDot.
It's the All-22 review on District Divided. Bitches!
Once again, an absolutely brutal game on Sunday, 31-0 in Minneapolis, lost to the Minnesota Vikings, where seemingly nothing went right. But KDot has looked at this with his not 50, not 60, but 70 screens to tell us maybe something that did go well, but much, much more about what didn't. KDot, over to you, beginning with the offense. The floor is yours.
Once again, shout out Tesla's self-driving feature. It allowed me to do some stuff. All right. All-22. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one. I don't think anybody wants to spend a lot of time on this one. We know we got blanked. Turned the ball over a bunch of times, and Jayden gets hurt on the Andrew Van Ginkel interception off the screen.
That none of us saw coming.
Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's start there. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. And the reason I say shout out to you is that you can see in this game early on in what was working, like early on in that first drive, there's answers for things, right? So like Jayden is actually doing a good job as far as getting rid of the football on time, and they're targeting certain things. You know the screen's going to be there. They're setting things up pretty well. And you can see over the course of the game that was one of our answers to saying the way we've talked about, like, hey, screens are going to be something you got to do when they bring the pressure or they simulate the pressure, they bring the blitz here and there. Brian Flores literally just said, hey, guy, you're now the eraser for that play. And that's what he did. He took it away. So like the interception is one thing, but like throughout the course of the game, you could see he's sitting right there waiting. Like, it's just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm here just to read this. You're not going to have that option anymore. I'm taking it away from you. Figure something else out. And it was, I think that we went into the game, and I'm actually kind of happy that Cliff kind of went into that game with that sort of being the game plan. To know that you knew that was going to be one of the options, and to know that they didn't really have any other answers for it necessarily, it's kind of frustrating. But the answers for it is to diversify what it is you're doing and to get some of these balls out quickly. And over the course of the game, with what Brian Flores was doing and seeing where it is that Jayden was doing well as far as in that first drive, they had answers for all of it going forward throughout the rest of the game. And you could see it flipped. So, like, I do think that there's a certain aspect of when you're watching the All-22 and you're, like, going through all these plays, that goddamn Vikings drive is insane. So like the idea of like you might have been onto something, then Brian Flores is sitting back also game planning for the next time you come out there, and he had the answers for it. So like there's you're cold again because you're coming back in after a long period of time, and then Flores is changing up the script as far as what he's doing defensively, leaves everybody kind of lost. Because there were moments even in the game that I will give Jayden credit. Look, the stat line's shit. There's no getting around it. Stat line's absolutely dog shit. He doesn't have a great game overall, but there are some moments compared to other aspects of the season. I actually think he raised his floor just a little bit from what it is I saw. I'm not going to go back to say that he's 2024 levels, but as far as like not making a dumb choice or not doing something too risky, being more risk averse, there were some aspects of this where I was like, okay, all right, I can see that. Like, still, do I have the same criticism holding on the football too long, like not making the right read? Do you have somebody open and you should take the shot? Yeah, that's all there. But I will say, if I'm looking at it overall, this has much more to do with Brian Flores and what he did. And I do think it did look, at least early on, that Jayden had worked on a lot of the criticism that I had for him.
Yeah. And if I could just real quick on Brian Flores and that pass defense specifically, since week 10, they've faced Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jayden Daniels. They've allowed one passing touchdown in the last 5 weeks. So it's a good unit, just that needed support from the offense, which they got, and we'll get to that. Yeah,
no doubt. So like the theme, so like if I were to tell you what the theme is that, everybody knows that Brian Flores likes to blitz, but it's not the blitz. It's that they baited our answers to their defense. Like they knew what it is that we wanted to do as an answer to what it is that they were doing. It was 3D chess, right? It's like hey, we know you think you have an out in this screen. Let's show some. He's showing cover 0 all the time, and then going into something else, or showing something else and then dropping the covers. Like it's just, it's complex. Like I look at that defense, I'm like, if you tried to run that with as miscommunications our defense has, we would get lit the fuck up. Like it's like you got to give credit where credit's due to those players on the defense and to him as a defense coordinator to get them to work that well.
Right. And Flores is one of the best in the business. It's got to be said. At it, he's able to get the chess pieces that he has, sticking with that 40 chess analogy. He's able to get those pieces to do exactly what he wants them to do. And he's damn good at what he does. And this is going to be the next step in Jayden's development, right? Like when we talk about a sophomore slump, we can call it what it is now, right? Like this sophomore slump. He is going to have games where teams blitz him to make it look like that Florida State game from his Heisman Trophy winning year, which was his worst game, the very first one. They're going to blitz. He's going to dirt some balls. That's the next step in his growth and development. How does he react and respond to that type of game? Because he's going to see it more and more if people have the horses to do it. So just looking forward to seeing Jayden grow, hopefully there.
No doubt. To wrap up things on offense before I go to defense, because like I said, I'm not like some of this shit's just like it was kind of simple to read. Specifically the tight ends when Zach went down. Snap counts, Senate 13, Yankoff 13. I'm going to put this out there. There is not a single thing I have seen on tape in this game or anything prior that shows me that Colson Yankoff does anything better than Ben Sinnott. Period. It's not to say that he doesn't do some good things, but as a blocker, I take Sinnott all day, every day. Is he as good as John Bates? No, but he's absolutely better than Colson Yankoff. Route running, they're both raw as shit, but that's not necessarily what you're looking for. Even Zach Ertz, as far as his route running, is more about, hey, I found a zone to sit in, more than it is any far like crisp stuff. I don't know what this coaching staff is doing as far as the Ben Sinnott piece. No idea. I don't know what they're seeing that I'm not seeing, but the fact that there's like, it does seem as though because from a usage standpoint that we're about to see the Yankoff stuff more than we're going to see the Ben Sinnott. Even though I don't know if you saw, but on the Commanders' website they had an interview with Ben Sinnott yesterday, the day before yesterday. Weird. It's weird. Like there's almost like an excitement level, but Zach Ertz is hurt, and it's like it's a weird article. But it does feel like they're planting a seed that like Ben Sinnott's ready to step up. But it doesn't. I don't know if like maybe they're just fooling us, and like they were waiting for something to happen to Zach, and maybe Ben Sinnott's supposed to be the Zach replacement until he's there, like because everybody does something different. But if I had to guess, I think it's going to be Yankoff, and I don't understand why.
I think we're being forced into the move. I think I'm positing something here. I think that Jayden, this is a bit loaded, but I think Jayden can play this week.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if Adam Peters, like, hey, what I've been seeing this week, no. And I'm now also thinking on that same line, hey, you better play my second round pick from last year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Adam's getting a little more power right now with the 3-10 record going. Guys, like this coaching staff, like you've had your chances. Play my guys at least the rest of this way. That's what I'm thinking they're going to be forced into. At the same time, I also have the same thought that you do. If it's up to the coaching staff alone, I think it's more Colson than Ben that we see.
Yeah. Once again, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you why. Like, when I see Yankoff on the screen, I was like, would I be okay with this tight end room going in the next season? Mentally, yeah, but like, I can't tell you it's because of stuff I've seen on the field because there just hasn't been enough, right? So, like, it's going to get interesting. This is the position that we're going to be looking at going forward. It's going to get really, really interesting as far as, like, because of what happened with Zach, and God forbid, like, it sucks. But this is forcing the issue, and we're going to see what it is they come up with. But I don't get it. I watching the All-22, I was just scratching my head the entire time. And also, I did see Mark Bullock, who, look, if there's anyone that I line up with most as far as All-22, it's Mark Bullock in what he does as far as his. And he actually did a breakdown on Sinnott versus Yankoff in this particular game. Same conclusion I came up with. And I just looked at that this morning before we did the pod, and I was like, dude, I'm like, we're kismet. Like, it's right there. I don't get it either. So it's just something to look out for. But we can move on to defense.
Sure.
Defensively, they just couldn't get off the fucking field, man. Like that's the thing. I'm just angry about it because they just couldn't get off the fucking field. You're playing zone because you ain't really got any other choice. You've already proven that you can't do anything as far as man coverage. And what we know about the zone, if you got the zone, you either get in the pass rush there or you're not getting the pass rush there. If you're not getting the pass rush there, there's going to be zones. There's going to be shit that's open. Period, point blank. That's what happens. And every fucking time on third down, especially on that drive, somebody fucked something up and they were able to get something going. And there were any opportunity to get them the fuck off the field. All you got to do is get the one stop, and they couldn't fucking do it. And it was like the third down corner. You lose the top end fucking coverage. The Addison deep corner. Quan Martin's the deep half. Gets way too much fucking depth. Can't close. 21 yards fucking gone. The 3rd and 12. The delayed screen over to Jefferson. you can see with KOC, got to give him credit as far as what he was doing. It did seem as though they were changing up some of the route depths and everything just to kind of match what it is that we were doing in zone. And there are multiple cases in which you have Mike Sanders still or somebody else playing too fucking soft a zone. You're leaving too much space. Y'all can't make that ground up. Why? There's so many times where like the zone discipline on an individual level is the choices you kind of make as far as where you're going from a positioning standpoint and knowing your own physical attributes. That shit is so annoying because you're right there. Every fucking third down, it's like, y'all called up the right defense even. You just didn't execute.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
So we had this conversation around cushion with Marshawn Lattimore, right? And we said that it is a personal preference typically when you talk to DBs or you hear former DBs talking about this, right? Do you think, given what you're seeing, that this is a coaching staff thing where they go, hey, we want you guys giving a cushion if they're all doing it?
I think so. As a corner, you got two choices. You press somebody, you play off, right? When you press somebody, it's because you want to get physical. But usually the guys that play press corner trust their physical attributes or trust their abilities a little bit better because they can make up that ground. Usually receivers are going to be faster than your cornerback, so you got to be able to make that up or stick with your guy the entire way. There's not a cornerback on our team right now that trusts themselves in the ability to do that. Plus, we're not playing man. So if you're playing from a zone standpoint, you got the guys that got it's it's the sticks. They don't play the sticks well. They just don't do the sticks.
We can all see that.
I know.
Why?
I'm sorry.
It feels like we're playing prevent on third down every single time. And they started 6 for 6, Minnesota. They started 6 for 6 in this game on third down with a struggling quarterback. Yeah. Why is it that we're always behind the sticks and then allowing these guys to get a first down?
They're fucking afraid. Like the idea is that they think they can make the tackle in front of them. They don't want to get beat deep.
All right.
Like, this is a complaint I've had watching football my entire life. My entire life. Like, I don't know about you, but like the entire time that every time I see like these defensive backs, I'm like, why are you playing 10 yards off the line of scrimmage? Like, I get the zones, like you're supposed to be in a specific spot, but regardless, structure, anything else, we're trying to give these guys a little bit of latitude that they make their decision. At least the cornerbacks are the people that know football that I've taught to. I say take that away from them. Like, that's me. But apparently that's just not how the way defense works. But I don't know. I just feel as though there's such a long leash for that. But that's the thing is, like, I can say that, right? They did do a decent job on the early downs.
That's never been the issue. It just erases the early down work.
Well, there's another issue in the sense of what happened to the run defense in this particular game, which I just don't have anything for you as far as the run attack as well. It just didn't work. Nobody was playing the way it necessarily needed to. I will actually say Bobby Wagner, better game. I think people probably.
I was going to say he actually was.
He was pretty good on run defense.
Yeah,
he was good on run coverage. But on run defense, Bobby's still your most sure thing. It has been the case all season long. I will say that we've been like more heavy on Bobby over the course of the last few weeks, and it's because I thought that his run defense was getting worse. I feel like it was like a valley, and now he's going back up again. How long that lasts because of his age, this, that, and the other, I don't know. I think it'll come in waves, right? But yeah, overall, it's just, dude, we're in a position because of the guys that we have on defense that we are entirely two-zone dependent. Like, I am all for, hey, stick the thing and stick with it. You can't stay there. If you stay there, then you're queuing up. If something's not working via the pass rush, you're going to get your ass whooped. We've said this, right? Like, we had to simplify the defense, but they're probably going to get their ass whooped. This is where we're at right now. They've had to simplify the defense, and because they can't generate the pass rush the way they want to, there are zones there. And also, I got to give credit to J.J. McCarthy as far as some of the scrambles and the running that he did. It was just a good way to see the fucking field. And if you got space, you got daylight, go take it.
Yep. Yeah, nothing like making it super easy for a struggling QB, which our defense seems to be the tonic and solution for a lot of these guys. Any other thoughts here before we move over to the preview?
JJ could just be a badass, but I mean...
could be. If he does it one more week, yeah, we could talk.
I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding. I don't think we need to see anything else.
Once again, the Washington Commanders go to New York to take on a team they've already beaten this season. Now, that was a long time ago, week 1 that game. And so they are 3-10. The Washington Commanders are. Giants 2-11. This is a sneaky big game if you care about draft position. That's where we're going with that. We're going to begin with the context for this game, as always, which is in the form of the injury report over here. Beginning with us, you can see that we have the Wednesday one loaded. Shout out Wash PR for being very inconsistent with giving us the injury report. So we ended up finding the most recent one, which is good. The only changes that you're going to see over here. So you see a lot of DNPs, right? Drake Jackson, Jonathan Jones, Von Miller, Chris Rodriguez, Laramie Tunsil, Bobby Wagner. Jayden limited, but he's not playing. He's already been ruled out. Drake Jackson and Chris Rodriguez upgrade to limited. The rest stay DNPs. It looks like Bobby Wagner's out there today.
Drake Jackson's going to play?
Maybe.
What?
Maybe. We'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, so that's the Washington Commanders side of things. And now let's go over to the New York Giants, which is a much, much longer list over here. As you can see, a whole bunch of DNPs over here. And Thursday represents the same thing. DJ Davidson, Victor Dimukeje, James Gillian, the punter Nick Jones, Rakeem Nunez-Roches, and Kayvon Thibodeau continue as DNPs. Bo Collins, Theo Johnson, Tyler Newman, now bigger names, Guller Oshensky, and Greg Van Roten up to limited, and the rest are now full.
They have the best names in football.
They do. And also, I was like, oh, geez. I need to make
Come
sure.
on, Demetrius Flanagan Fowler. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I saw him as full. I was like, I'm not saying it. Anyway, so that
feels like the fucking,
you remember the Key and Peele skit?
He's like
a lot of those.
I'm seeing him as like a black Irish mob boss in Boston, Demetrius Flanagan Fowler.
You read about him. No, anyway,
really?
Let's go ahead and talk about our Commanders offense, featuring Marcus Mariota again against this New York Giants defense that has Brian Burns leading them in sacks with 13, and the next highest is at 3.5 sacks. So that's how it's been for them also. So KDot, on this side of the ball, what are you looking to exploit? Because there is stuff to exploit. And what are you worried about?
The number one thing I'm looking to exploit is if you saw Hard Knocks and Mike Kafka trying to give the team an inspirational speech, made me feel really good.
That was like,
that
dude,
was
talk about not
horrible.
Being able to read the room. Like everyone, you're 2-11 or 2-10 at the time, 2-11, you're checked out. All this hard, sorry, man.
Steve Carell could have been playing Michael Scott and given that fucking
I think
thing,
a better one.
It was horrible.
It was
he's
really
just, all right, then not curse. I should curse now. Maybe they'll react to me.
Well, you
curse.
get the fuck out of this room. I was like, dude, if you gave them all the out to get out of the room, they will. I don't understand who you're motivating here. Anyway, go ahead.
Thing is, I would feel so much better if they should have brought Cam Scadaboo back to give this speech. I would have been scared. I would have been scared. The Mike Kafka thing made me feel really good about this game, and I didn't feel good about this game going into it. Whatever. The exploiting part of this. Yeah, man, fuck my notes. Run the ball. Run the ball. Everybody, run the fucking ball. I saw some stat. I don't even remember what the stat was, but it was Bill leads the league in outside rushes as far as over expected or some other shit. Mm-hmm. Do that. Give it to Chris Rodriguez. Give it to Joe. Just run the ball. Here's the thing, Cliff. Run the ball until they prove they can stop the run. That's the game plan. Run the fucking ball. And the moment they start loading that box up, you know what you tell Mariota to do? Get rid of the fucking football fast. And the moment that they start having to do that, run the ball again. That's it. Don't need to be any more complicated than that.
Yeah. I mean, I could not believe the rushing numbers I saw against the New York Giants. They are giving up, first off, the most yards per carry at 6.1.
Yep.
6. That means you run it twice. That's a first down.
First down.
Okay. 6.1. It gets worse when you look at their last 3-4 weeks.
Yep.
6.6 since week 10. And then 7 since week 11. And I want to say it's 8. Yep. It's 8. 8 yards a carry since week 12. These guys just cannot stop the run. We have not run the ball more than 25 times in a game so far this season. I want to say I'm doing that from memory. 30 plus, we certainly haven't. This is a day to do it. This game should end a whole lot quicker from a literal time standpoint. It's 1 p.m. Eastern. This game should be over at 3:30 p.m. Both teams just run the ball on each other. Call it a day. This is what you need to do against the New York Giants. This is Chris Rodriguez. This is Bill Krosky-Merritt. KDot was just talking about, Jeremy McNichols can do this as well. Mariota, you go ahead and do it too. But the running backs alone should
Debo.
be in this game. Sure. Why not? We got 4 more weeks of the guy, Debo, as well. So run the ball. And then in terms of passing, you can also more or less do what you want against these guys. They're middle of the pack, lower end over here as well. It's been a down year for them. They're also banged up with injuries, but run the football. That's it. Run the football. I totally agree, KDot.
Everything's got to be built off the run. If you're going to do anything as far as the play action or the quick game, which you have to because you got to throw the football at some point, right? Well, maybe you don't. But if you do, it's got to be off that base, right? And with what's happening with the injury stuff, I do want to see some Ben Sinnott stuff. I do want to see some screens if they start bringing some pressure. The only thing you got to do in this game, above all other things, and I say it every fucking week, stay ahead of the goddamn sticks. You should be able to do it if you run the football. Cliff, if you start throwing on first down and we're in a situation where you can't run it on third down, then you fucked us, all right? You fucked us, buddy. So don't let that happen. And I'd also say, with a defense that we're not entirely sure which one's going to show up this game, my limit, 21. If they get a 21-point lead, you can stop running the ball. Until that point, run the ball. Just run it.
I think that's fair. Also, since week 8 against quarterbacks, they give up a 114.4 passer rating. That is the worst in the NFL.
You only got to throw 5 times.
Yeah, it's the worst in the NFL. And also true. You only have to, let's see how many times these guys typically throw. I mean, it's not a whole lot. Yeah, since week 8, 20 attempts, 24, 36, 24, 42, 31. Oh, no, you can light it up if you really want to. Narrow it out. You can do whatever you want against this defense. You can do whatever you want. Any final thoughts here before we move to the other side, KDot?
Marietta, like, if you got a full week, I know you looked a little rusty last week. I think not cold, getting the practice in. I feel like this should be a good game for us offensively if we don't do stupid shit.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily trust us to not do stupid shit. So
That's
it's going to be interesting. The Giants are favored in this game, by the way. We just told you how bad their defense is.
Spoiler alert, I'm picking them.
Yeah, well, so am I. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and go to the Giants offense.
Do we need to?
We sort of revealed. We sort of revealed the whole thing. Our defense, unfortunately, has been bad this season, as you guys know through the All-22 reviews, through what you watch on Sundays. Ravaged by injuries, to be fair, right? Ravaged by injuries, to be fair, but nonetheless, it's not been a strong unit. Hopefully, on the road against a divisional opponent that you're familiar with, can present an opportunity to go, okay, cool. We know them, they know us. But KDot on the side with the Giants featuring rookie quarterback Jaxson Dart, what are you looking to exploit? And then what are you worried about?
I don't see anything to exploit necessarily, especially like that's not a. You've used that word.
I use it every week.
I know, and every week it gets harder for me not to like have a visceral like. No, you can't say that. Like you can't. There's not. You can't exploit something when you're the exploited. Like we're the ones. Dart can light you the fuck up, and he's going to try to. If you can't stop the run on early downs, which has been lukewarm at certain points this season, you're fucked. Because the moment that they start getting able to be in their RPO play action bag, that's when Theo Johnson's about to go feast on them linebackers, bro. Like that to me is y'all need to tackle. Y'all need to play more sound defense. Y'all need to figure out between the safeties and the linebackers who's responsible for Theo Johnson. Who is responsible for Theo Johnson needs to be something that everyone asks themselves every play. All right? Because I see that being an issue. Jaxson Dart also on the ground. If you lose containment, if these motherfuckers get too far behind, and he is going to light you up that way too. I don't like this matchup for us this time around. I loved it week 1. I would have loved it at any other point. If they played Jameis Winston, I'd like to see it. But beyond that, I don't know. Yeah, man, it's not good. The defense is just not playing well. And I think with Dart, when you see what happened with J.J. McCarthy last week, Dart's not having a J.J. McCarthy year. Dart's having a good season.
He's been good.
And I think that this is one of those games where it's like division rival. He wants to be the villain, playing at home against a team that looks like there's blood in the water. You could get a better record than them at this particular point in time. I just see them coming out hot. And that's my thing is like Dart and that. I think the thing that scares me the most about that offense is the energy level and what it is that they might bring to the table compared to us looking flat at times. I'm hoping that the defense the last 2 weeks, like in the sense of energy level early, show up. It's just you got to be sound. And if you're going to allow certain things to happen on third down, if you're going to lose containment on Jaxson Dart, but more importantly, if you just allow them to run the fucking football, you're done. You're just done. It's gonna be a cakewalk for these guys.
Yeah, and so more recently they've been splitting carries between Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary, and so that is actually quite even. So like the last couple of weeks, Tyrone Tracy had 20 carries, but then just had 10 the next week against New England. Devin Singletary 14 and 12. So you're going to get a healthy dose of both of them, and you'll also notice those numbers they run, right? They're running 20, 25, 30 times a game. So expect healthy dose of that. It allows Jaxson Dart to have the year that he's having. He's looking at his numbers, KDot, because the Giants, like this season, they keep losing, so it's easy to not pay attention to them. He has been pretty dang good for those that have not been paying attention. Against just Philly, passer ratings of 104.6 and 98, one on the road, and that was the one where they lost Cam Scatterbo. So he's good there. Against Denver, a 93.4. We know how good Denver is. That's impressive for a rookie, and he did that over there in Denver on the road, right?
I have a fact.
Go ahead.
Jaxson Dart has a 90-plus passer rate in seven of his last eight career starts. That is tied for the most such games with a rookie's first 8 career starts since 1950. He's tied with Dan Marino.
Yeah, no, he's playing well. And so even against the Patriots, a 99.1. Now, have they gotten off to slow starts? Yes, right? So some of that is also, okay, the game's a bit out of reach. He's able to make a spectacular play because people just naturally ease off defensively. But he has improved over the course of this season, and he is going to be a problem for us also because he uses his legs, right? He runs anywhere from 4 to 6 times a game. We just saw with JJ, who runs a little, but not nearly as much. We had problems with that. So here's another opportunity to be exploited, unfortunately, because we seem to be everybody's get-right game. Short of Tua and Bo Nix, the passer ratings are in the 110 to 140 range. JJ McCarthy had his best ever day as a pro, 129.2, right? You can get whatever you want, unfortunately, against this Commanders defense. What I hope we're able to do is stop the run and force Jaxson Dart to have hopefully a bad throw or two because he can turn it over. But I got to give it to him. He's been very good this season, KDot.
He's been damn good, and I think that what's happening since Brian Dable got fired and Mike Kafka with his shitty pre-game speech or whatever the fuck it is he's doing, which I guess I got to give Jaxson Dart even more credit. He's got to overcome that. But they're starting to push the ball down the field a bit more as the season goes on. You remember my number one wide receiver this last offseason was what, Darius Slayton?
Yes.
Because I love the idea of him as a deep threat. They're starting to push the ball down the field. And I think it's very specifically they're trying not to have Jaxson Dart run the ball as much, even though we know Dart wants to. They're trying to limit his ability to do that. And what that's doing is Kafka's like forcing him like, okay, if you want to do this, you're going to be a little risky. How about we have you push the ball down the field? Will that make you happy? Yeah. That'll make me happy. So that's what they're doing. And while I will say that like the entire key to this is to try to make them one-dimensional. If they really are able to get off as far as the run the ball or what have you, then it's going to be an issue. I want to get them in a position where they're having to drop back and throw the ball constantly. You make Dart beat you. I think he can, but like I think that's one of the things is like you got to get the pass rush generated. I don't know if that's going to be a case or if we are even able to do it. Look, man, I don't know what the fuck you're going to do. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't necessarily have. Like looking through, I don't have a game plan necessarily for them other than like, don't let them gash you for 5 or 6 yards on first down, which is like, okay.
I actually think the plan is throw it to Slayton. So you
have them throw deep.
Yeah, exactly. Because what you want to do is obviously stop the run, which the Commanders had been good at, but 3 of the last 4 games, they've allowed over 5 yards of carry. So that's not been available to us. If you're able to, right, then it is making sure you take away Theo Johnson. We're 3rd worst against tight ends all year, and we know why, right? Like, having Bobby on him with Will Harris out, not being able to help out makes it difficult. And then it's Wan'Dale Robinson, who's the underneath. That's how you get the easy yardage. He's the guy that's targeted more than anybody by Jaxson Dart. So it is see if he can push the ball down the field. And the Giants are happy with that too. From Jaxson Dart's development standpoint, they want him to do that. And from our standpoint, for winning the game, we want that. So that's what you need to be able to do. I'm not sure we'll be able to, but that's what we need to be able to do. Any final thoughts here? Go ahead.
3 steps. Stop the run on early downs.
Mm-hmm.
Tackle like you're fucking grown-ups.
Yeah.
And don't let Theo Johnson whip your ass.
There you go. Right? It's a little bit of underneath to Wandale, and then it's going to be over to Darius Slayton. See if he can beat you that way.
There we go.
All right, let's go ahead and go to the predictions over here, KDot, where we are 2.5-point underdogs in this game with an over-under. 46.5 is actually kind of high because they know both defenses pretty bad. So KDot over here, I need a score. I need a winner. I need a player of the game.
This game seems so doable from an offensive standpoint. Like, I feel pretty good about Marcus Mariota. I feel great about our rushing attack if we stick to it. It's whether or not I trust us to do it. And that's my issue at this point. It's like, do I trust us to stick to the game plan and make us happen? Like, to me, a good victory in this game would be you win by a field goal, you win by a touchdown, and it's just time of possession sort of grinded out sort of game. Maybe New York scores pretty quickly a couple times, but you long, sustained drives of Marcus Mariota. Do I see that happen? No, because I don't trust anything that these guys are doing right now. So 24-17 New York. I think Jaxson Dart whoops our ass. He's a player of game. And I think he's a player of game not just because of what he's doing as far as down the field, but it's the third down conversions on his feet. That's what I think ends up being the difference maker in this one.
Yeah. Over here, I also have the Giants winning. And it's for me, it's what you said. I'll just say it more clearly. I don't trust the coaching staff. Right? Like that is, I have not seen us commit to a run game so far this season. I have more hope because Marcus Mariota is the one that's in. We tend to run the ball more when he's there versus when Jayden's in there. That is a talking point for future. But right now, I don't think we commit to it. I think we can't stop Theo Johnson, who's my player of the game. I've got the Giants 27 and the Commanders 20. 27-20. This would be the first time we beat New York back-to-back in 25 years or something like that, by the way.
I feel
on the road.
Around prediction.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what we have over there. Go ahead.
Zach Ertz has eaten up a lot of targets these last 2 weeks. That should not disappear as far as the tight end position. And I'm going to be very pissed off if we're not going to see Ben Sinnott or Colson Yankoff, if that's who it is they choose, have some moments in this fucking game. I will be irate come when that fucking post game if we not queue up some stuff to see what these guys can do.
Oh, best believe that. Me too. I want to see Ben Sinnott in this game. Colson Yankoff too. I need one of them to produce. Obviously biased towards Ben because of the capital we spent on him. But if Colson balls out, I don't care. Like, I just need another tight end to show me that they could do something.
They're just going to throw it to John Bates.
Yeah, can't wait for that. And with that, we go over to the comment mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Well, hang on. I thought I had the intro queued up, but fucking StreamYard's being a bitch. Look, man, y'all can't raise your prices and then don't work as well. You fucking ass.
Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, as always, for that intro, Nikki. Beginning with, and we got a pretty interesting one here to the point that I actually sent it to KDot ahead of time. So we may go a bit long on this one, but shout out DJ Turner for the comment. And it reads, because I think it's intriguing to people right now, it seems to be a conversation. If there was a 2024 redraft, where do you think each quarterback would end up? Once again, those quarterbacks, Drake May, Jayden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and JJ McCarthy. So where would they end up in terms of round, right? What round grade do you have on them? And then what would you do if you were the GM for each top 12 team? Okay, KDot, over to you. Your thoughts there.
As far as the quarterbacks go, the only one that I think gets drafted a lot differently than where they are is Michael Penix.
Okay.
I think because of what it is that Atlanta did to get in a position to go get him, they don't do that. they don't do that this time around. I see Caleb Williams still going in Chicago because they like what they have, and you see their record and everything. I still see the Commanders doing Jayden Daniels because of the Cliff Kingsbury piece and everything like that, and I still see the Patriots doing Drake May. I don't think the top three changes, not one bit. Beyond that, I know New York's happy with Jaxson Dart, but I also think there's a chance they actually go do the Bo Nix thing. I think if Brian Dable's the guy still, maybe he does make that move, seeing what Bo Nix has done. Mm-hmm. JJ McCarthy, I actually think he goes to the Jets. I think they do that.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Because the thing is that I just think it's because of how desperate they are at this particular point. But they would need to make something like that happen. So that's where I think the quarterbacks themselves end up.
Okay. So the way that I have the quarterbacks, knowing what we know now, what I think the GMs would do, that's what I'm going to say. And then I'll say what I would do.
Yeah.
But what I think the GMs would do, I think at 1, Chicago goes Drake May. I think at 2, Washington sticks with Jayden. I think just going through the quarterbacks here. At 6, so I don't think New England actually takes one. At 6, I think the Giants go Caleb. I think 7, Tennessee goes Bo Nix. And then that's it in the top 12. So then I think that JJ and Penix, I think Penix goes late first, early second, something like that. Like maybe New England's like, oh, early second, something like that.
Second,
and I think JJ goes late second or third or something like that. I think that's what we end up seeing.
Okay, I can see that. Okay, I can kind of see that. The Caleb piece is the only thing that I'm like, I don't know.
I think Chicago now seeing Drake's.
It's more him falling to 6.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Go ahead.
That to me is it's a tough sell for me. That's the only pushback that I have is that I just think and I know I'm still I think I might still be higher on Caleb than you are. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I'd say so. This is actually Caleb moving up for me. Which is
I know
funny,
that's the thing.
I had him 4, right? And now I'm like, oh, actually, I've seen enough that I believe he could be a top 10 pick, which is crazy to say. But anyway,
that's nuts. That's crazy. I don't see. I think everybody makes the same choice because I think everybody's happy with the choice as much as Washington's just going to look at this as an injury thing, and also they don't necessarily. I don't think anybody's still yet in the camp of Jayden Daniels just injury prone as much as it's been bad luck and through some coaching and maybe some other injuries that don't happen on the team. This doesn't happen to him. But I can't look at Chicago or New England and seeing where they are right now and say that they have any issues with anything that has happened at this particular point as far as like the
I don't think there are any issues. Just to be clear, I think it's more like.
I try to more contextualize where it is the teams are now and like where it is like if they could go back and make the choice. It's a weird like alternate universe thing, but like the top 12 picks, like top 3 don't change, but number 4 Cardinals, I say Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Number 5 Joe Alt still goes to L.A. The New York piece is where it is, and I look at that and I'm like, okay, the Bo Nix thing. This is where I'm kind of like, maybe something. I don't know. Titans, Fuaga, the tackle.
Okay.
Falcons, Jared Verse. Roma Dunze, that's J.J. McCarthy. And you know what I have for the Vikings? Brock Bowers.
Okay.
I think Brock Bowers, the Sam Darnold thing.
That ends up looking quite nice. So here's what I have. Number 1, Chicago, Drake May. Number 2, Washington, Jayden Daniels. Number 3, New England, Malik Neighbors. Number 4, Arizona, Marvin Harrison Jr. That stays the same. Number 5, LA Chargers, still Joe Alt. Number 6, Giants, Caleb, because I like that with Daboll. Number 7, Tennessee, Bo Nix. I actually like that with now Brian Callahan, who's now gone. But I think I like that over there. Number 8, Jared Verse, just like you, with the Atlanta Falcons. Number 9, Chicago, Brock Bowers. Because they end up doing Colston Loveland. I think that they have their eye on tight end. I think they go Brock Bowers there. Number 10, Minnesota, Quinyon Mitchell. Number 11, Olu Fashanu. Jets stay with Olu Fashanu. And number 12, Denver, Roma Dunze. I think that's what ends up happening in the top 12, KDot.
Okay. I think it's just because I'm trying to look at where the teams are now, then if they could go back and what player could they have drafted 2 years ago that would have been perfect for them right now? I think it's the way that I kind of looked at it.
Oh, no, and that's fair. A coach also chimes in saying, just ranking the quarterbacks here. Number 1, Drake May. Number 2, Jayden Daniels. Number 3, Caleb Williams. Number 4, Bo Nix. Number 5, Michael Penix. Number 6, J.J. McCarthy. It's a 3-year eval. Context matters. Washington has a historically bad defense, regardless of the DC. Cliff is a bottom 10 OC. Of course, always a little bit of a dig at the very end over there, but it's an interesting conversation. Appreciate the question there, DJ. I thought it was a fun little exercise for both of us to go through. Any final thoughts there, KDot?
Yeah, it's fun. The what if games, I do love that, especially if I'm drunk or high.
Fair. And if last little bit. If it were me, I'm still, and this is a conversation for another time. I'm still taking Jayden 1 if I'm Chicago, right? It's knowing what we know now. This is what I think the GMs do. What I would do is I would still take Jayden Daniels 1 overall.
No.
Let's go over to Vindo with an interesting one. Vindo goes, I'm out on Sinnott. Done. KDot, your reaction.
I don't know why anybody would be in on Senate unless you were there from the beginning. There's no reason to be. The coaching staff's out on Senate. Like, what the fuck? I can't argue that.
Actually, Vindo's Cliff's burner.
Like, I can't. What the fuck am I supposed to say to that? Like, the only person still banging the fucking Senate drum is me, because my dumbass had him before the draft. So, like, he's my guy. And I'm just waiting to see what my guy can do. That's literally it. I just want to see what he can do. I've liked what I've seen. No one else seems to give a shit. So,
yeah. Well, we'll see. Golden opportunity here if he gets the opportunity. Here's Vindo. Remember when we led the league in rushing? Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I think we're top 5 though, right?
Yeah, but led the league.
Yeah, no shit. But I don't like the way we did it anyway. Jayden running all the goddamn time. It's like, none of us wanted necessarily that. But, look, this year, you remember, I didn't feel great about the rushing attack. I do actually feel better about it as far as the Chris Rodriguez piece. Do I still think you can upgrade that position like a motherfucker? Yes! But I just lean, if they, like, I just want to see them lean on the Rodriguez, McNichols, Bill thing. I think you have a 3-headed monster you can use.
Yep. I agree with that. By the way, I agree with that. And I'm glad that they're leaning into Chris Rodriguez's RB1 for now. Because I think he does a good job opening the game up. Actually, if you look at every play-by-play, he does. Like, he literally does. And then he makes it easier for everybody else. Here's Tony.
The All-22 tape for the rushing attack was like, why do anything else?
Even Jayden under center, the couple times we handed it off with the lead blockers, well, look nice.
My dick got hard.
I know. Because it's what we both want, not your dick. Well, I mean, all right. Anyway, here's Tony. No, makes for fun pre-prod stories. Here's Tony. Oh, gee. Anyway, you slice it based on the 6 or so games this year. JD 5, and then it's like in close brackets delete. I don't really know if that's a reference to something or maybe it was just YouTube. JD 5. Jayden Daniels' is cheeks this year. Oh, you know, maybe. Maybe. The injuries, I know. Maybe it's something I can't say, but you can. The injuries, I know. Let me start from the beginning. That was so disjointed. My bad, Tony. Anyway, you slice it, based on the 6 or so games this year, J85, ... delete, ... Jayden Daniels is cheeks this year. The injuries, I know. KDot, don't try to save him. I have a right to be upset. Your reaction, KDot.
Man, I've been on here criticizing Jayden the entire fucking season. You can't say that, like, I turn it on and turn it off, and it's been pretty consistent the entire fucking season. I'm not going to go as far as to say he plays like cheeks, because JJ McCarthy exists, but, like, it hasn't been good. That's what I'll say. It hasn't been good.
Yeah. No, it's been a regression, right? And, like, it has been difficult to see because it's like, why is he holding on to it so long? If you guys have an athletic subscription, maybe it's prescription, I don't know, it could be medicine these days. Nikki Javala had a really nice piece on like why it is that his scramble rate is so high, which is something that happened in college, right? Like, why is his scramble rate so high? So it's something to think about. Worth reading if you haven't already. Tony with another one. Jayden Daniels, ... delete, ... QB under center was good. I'd like to see more of it. I would too. I like seeing him under center. KDot just said his dick got hard when we were running the football under center. Your reaction, KDot?
I'm an old school football fan, guys. I like running the ball up the gut, punching your opponent in the fucking face, and doing it over and over again, and occasionally working some play action stuff into it. Just an old school way I like the game. And actually, if you look around the league, there's always this like cyclical thing. It seems like it's coming back. I want to be ahead of the curve. That's it. It feels old school to me. And I think the other thing that playing under center did, and you could see it in the All-22, is it forces Jayden's hand as far as decision making. He has to rely on the script of the play or what he's reading pre-snap because he's not standing back there surveying the same way he does when he's back there. To me, it forces the issue. And when I see that, I'm like, okay, so if I have my quarterback that has this particular issue with this thing, and this prevents him from even being able to do it, why wouldn't you lean on it more?
Why wouldn't you? And then Nathan Perry goes, the offense has long been given a pass. That side of the ball has regressed bad this year. Injuries are an excuse, but you don't lose this many blowout games by defense alone. If you're losing by 20 plus points consistently, then you aren't putting points on the board. KDot, your reaction?
What I give shit to as far from an offensive standpoint, and this is where I look at Cliff Kingsbury, and I'm like, if you got all the praise last year, you're going to catch some of this flack this year. The wide receiver injuries are a major fucking deal. They're a major deal going into the season or what happened over the course of the season. And that can have a very, very strong impact on what's happening with the team. We just don't have the playmaker type. Like, you tried to do certain things at certain points of the year where it's like, okay, maybe we're going to run the ball with Bill, and this is going to be the thing that kind of generates some stuff. And then all the teams start saying, all right, we're going to stack this fucking box. We're going to take that away from you. And then it took us entirely too long to try something new as far as, all right, well, maybe it's not working with this guy, but let's use a hammer with Chris Rodriguez, or let's adjust to do this or adjust to do that. They've been entirely too slow on making adjustments over the course of the season to try to offset what was happening with the receiver room, instead of just saying, let's have fucking Chris Moore out there hoping that he's going to play like Terry McLaurin.
Which also will lean into Nikki's piece again about wide receiver separation on the first read and stuff like that. Again, Wurtzing. When I think about this offense, the lack of leaning into the run game, I think is a very simple fix, because you literally just say we're running. Right. I know it's not as exciting, and I think that's sort of the thing that Cliff needs to battle, is that he is into the vertical passing game, into the quick passing, into pass, right? In a passing league. I get it, but it helps protect Jayden, for example, like you mentioned in the previous comment, this one as well, KDot. When I think about Jayden's injuries so far, it's against Green Bay, where we did have Terry McLaurin, right? But that's a high pressure team on a Thursday on the road, week 2.
Yep.
Okay. You look back, road teams typically don't win that game. I wish I had done that beforehand. That was free money the more I think about it. Then it's against Dallas when we have no wide receivers. Debo's out. Terry's out. No separation. Jayden trying to do too much. Then we got the Seattle game. Once again, unreal defense. Terry's out, right? And again, he gets hurt. And then finally, it's this Minnesota game. No time on it because we're getting free rushers over and over. And he actually gets hurt on a screen pass. And it has nothing to do with the high pressure of the defense. He ends up getting hurt that way. Having receivers that can get open also protects your quarterback. And I'm referring more to that first read, right? Because we've gone through the All-22, so there have been people open. I'm not saying there aren't people open.
There's guys open there.
But there are guys open for everybody in the league. Right, like that is also true. But go ahead, KDot.
I'll read the Athletic articles. I haven't seen it, and I'm very curious to see what's happening and seeing if it jives with what it is that I've seen.
I think it does, but we'll chat.
There are first read stuff available. It's just my issue with Jayden is he doesn't trust his eyes.
Yeah,
he just doesn't trust it. He just like it's like, to me it was the thing where it's like Terry McLaurin, since he's been here, I think has been like underused as far as the route diversity tree that he has, because I do think he can do a lot more. I think he's more physical than people give him credit for. I think he can actually do a lot more of the stuff that Deebo Samuel does if you just give him the opportunity to, honestly. But I think the thing with Terry is that he always like was near the top of the league, if not at the top of the league, with contested catches. Mm-hmm. And contested catches would mean that the separation necessarily isn't there the quite same way that it would be in some other situations. That's not necessarily the case this season. You actually see him like actually get more separation than anybody else on the team, but that's also because who it is you're comparing to on the team. He's just not. The only safety valve he's had playing for majority of the season has been Zach Ertz. So like the only person even last year that he was like, fuck it, he's over there. I'm gonna take my shot to him was Terry, and like that, he just doesn't trust anybody. And like my thing is that like that trust doesn't happen in a you have to do things to allow them to build the trust. Like until it's why look everybody knows, like you know this. I was a huge Aaron Rodgers criticizer for a very long time, and my main thing with Aaron Rodgers and his criticisms is how he demoralizes the wide receiver room. Right. Okay, and my thing is, I don't think Jayden's there, but I do think that Jayden's got to give these guys some opportunities. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes because of the injuries, you throw the ball to Chris Moore, you throw the ball to some of these guys, and they drop it. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
But there have been guys that, like, Luke McCaffrey should have been leaned on much heavier, a lot earlier. Like, there are some guys that's like, you just got to do it. And I just think that there needs to be more tough conversation about take the shot. There's a reason that Marcus Mariota goes in there, they're running the exact same fucking offense, and he's completing passes.
Sure. And I do think that when we talk about Jayden, right, that is something that needs to improve. Because the chemistry thing, I think, starts with the guy with the ball. Absolutely. Right? It starts with the leader. You have to throw it to him. And if they drop it, you have to go to him again. The discourse will then be your receiver can't catch. And you have to understand that's okay for you, right? You're putting it in the right spot. The thing that currently separates Jayden and Mahomes, there are a few things, but like one of the main things, Mahomes continues to trust these guys. I keep thinking about that run where they led the league in drops. They entered as the 3 seed, and then they go to Buffalo. They go to Baltimore. MVS makes the catch against Baltimore after dropping everything in the regular season. That's trust that Mahomes continued to have in him. I want to see that from Jayden moving forward because he has been blessed to play with unbelievable wide receivers. He's played with Brandon Ayuk over at Arizona State. At LSU, he played with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas and immediately developed chemistry with Terry McLaurin, who I think is still underrated in this league. And he showed out against Denver, for example, with Marcus Mariota, right? Yeah. The guy can ball. Now it's about these other guys. Can you get them to elevate their play? Because then I think he can truly be unstoppable in this league.
And that's the reason that for the last 2 years have been pissing me off that they don't force the issue as far as the Luke McCaffrey and Ben Sinnott piece. Get the young guys that are going to be with him for the next fucking decade to get some chemistry built. What the fuck? We
just don't play them also at the same time.
That's the thing is, like, I hear all this talk about what's happening in the offseason. You do this, you do that. And then come fucking game time, nothing's queued up that way. Right. Force the fucking issue, man.
I'm with you, brother. Like you know me. We literally did an entire segment where I was like, I dove into the numbers. Let's play the young guys. Like it literally.
But I don't get it. I don't fucking get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't understand why I was seeing something last year at the clip that I see it, and I'm seeing the regression piece on this piece. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to who Jayden is as a dude, and all the positives that I had for Jayden last year as far as learning from your mistakes. What the fuck? And then also Cliff Kingsbury once again. Get your head out of your ass sometimes, buddy. I love you. I really do. I saw what you did last year, see what you're capable of. It feels as though unless you're part of the Shanahan coaching tree or you've got a defensive head coach, everybody wants to be fucking cute. Stop being cute.
Oh, I mean, the whole coaching staff gets smoked for me. Like, Cliff also gets some of this Jayden stuff, right? Because they're so tight, right, that Cliff can easily go, hey, man, you got to throw this, right? Like, and I think Jayden will listen. Right. But I think that they are just like so much higher than everybody else at times that it is just, no, it's our way and everything you're doing is right. I get why people love Cliff Kingsbury that have worked with him because I think he enables them to be there, to lean into their traits. Right. I get that, which is great. But also that little uncomfortable conversation of, hey, Chris Moore is open there. Like, throw it to him. Right. Like we need more of that. And then defensively, if you're going to have a defensive-minded coach, the defense can't be this bad, especially in year 2. Year 1, I get. Okay, you just got here. There's a lot of roster turnover. Year 2, it should be impossible for the defense to be this bad, regardless of your personnel. By this point, we talk about communication over and over and over again. I don't see it because every single time I listen to KDot on these All-22 reviews, it's the communication isn't there. Like, I just can't have that. So, like,
man. But the only pushback I give is – no, I don't fault anything you're saying. But
it's frustration. It's just
the only other piece I'll add to just shit on Cliff a little bit more. You talked about early, or I don't know, we read the comment, or you said something about us leading the league in rushing last year, or whatever.
Yeah, I think Vidno was saying that. Yeah.
The reason defensive-minded coaches usually have offensive coordinators lean on the run is it's called complementary football. Mm-hmm. And you know what we haven't gotten a lot of this year? Complementary football.
We go over to Martin Collins. Shout out Martin Collins. I've been a fan forever. This is the season from hell. What do we hope for now? I was actually thinking we had turned a corner. We need to keep trying to win. It's so important for the future of this team. I don't believe in tanking, though I would like to see us having a real chance in the draft. Jayden Daniels should only play when he is completely uninjured. He is our core to build around. Hard to believe that we were a game away from the Super Bowl last year. What the fuck? KDot, your reaction to the comment.
That like I will always give a quarterback or anybody credit for wanting to come back early, but I will tell you, like, I am of the same idea that Jayden, unless you've shown me on the field that you're going to utilize the things within the confines of the offense, like take advantage of shit, and you're going to continue to still rely on you being a hero, then if you're going to do the hero ball shit, I can't have you out there unless you're 100%.
Yep.
Can't. There's no purpose. There's no use for that.
And by the way, if he feels punished by that, like, sorry, like,
figure it the fuck out.
The last 2-3 games we put you in, you've gotten hurt. So, like, don't blame us, right? Like, unless
I am not. No, here's what I won't do. There is no coddling Jayden Daniels over this motherfucker. Yeah, I know you do. All you guys motherfuckers do.
A little bit.
No. I get the NFC Championship game. I get that you did the hero shit. I get you put the team on the back. There is nothing I will ever take away from that. It was last year. I can't do anything with that. There's nothing I can do with that. It already happened. What are we doing from going forward, buddy? And what I'm seeing this year is not the shit I saw last year. Get the shit together. Cliff, Dan, all of you, get your shit together. This is not okay. Like, you gotta do better than what you're doing. I'm gonna hold that fucking standard. It'd be one thing if I never saw it. If I never saw it, you'd hear me suddenly passive-aggressively being like, that's why I thought Caleb Williams had a special sauce. That's not what I'm fucking doing. I'm saying that I know he's capable of it. I continue to admit that I was wrong as far as the quarterback draft shit, but it can't help but notice that every time all these things that I had in my head come around the draft time, that were my concerns that completely went away, are now back. And I'm angry about that because I want to be fucking wrong. I want to be wrong. Prove me wrong, motherfuckers. Prove me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and that starts with coaching staff, and then Jayden as the CEO on the field needs to be able to do that stuff.
Go ahead. No, you go.
No, I'm about to switch it to the draft, so go ahead.
All right. As far as the season from hell, it's the injury season from hell. I am with Von Miller in the sense of I think next year could be something. I know that people are looking at me like, what the fuck? Remember, I've looked at this entire thing as like a 5-year plan. Okay, like my brain's still there. So like where the team is now, did I expect double-digit losses? No. But is it completely out of the realm of possibility we got to 10 losses in my mind? No, not at all, right? At least going into the season, just the way that I felt about the team. And the injuries to me, like that makes more sense than anything as far as them having the record that they have. I do think next year looks different. My issue is I need to see certain things this season from certain guys to make me feel good about next year. That's what I'm still looking at. That's where my brain still is. And as far as season from hell, look, context is everything. I just had a conversation with somebody. I was telling Ahmed about pre-show. Very, very special person. We were talking about some stuff that happened in the past as far as Washington goes. We were talking about no one will ever be able to take that 2007 season away from me in the sense of how shitty it felt at one point in that year, and then it turned around and things got better. Things can always turn around and get better. This is one of these things that happen in the league. You get hurt. You just get a team that gets ravaged by fucking injuries. We still got to look long term. And that's what are we hanging our hats on that we can look at going into next season as a good thing? Luke McCaffrey, I feel good about that when he gets back from injury, right? He started to make a name for himself. He started being able to do something. The rushing attack, if they start leaning into that, I'm like, all right, that's a motherfucking thing that we can keep going, right? Get some shit in the core of the team that we can see is going to be a through line in next year, and that'll make me feel good over the course of the next few weeks.
Yeah, we need to keep trying to win, I agree. Right, because I don't want to tank either. I believe strongly that we have our guy at quarterback, right? So with that, I want to establish the culture, right? If we lose, right, because that's clearly on the board, we both picked the Giants, right? If we lose, you can now hope for other teams to win in the meanwhile, right? Like the Giants would have won, and they would have had 2 division wins to our 1. So there's that, right? Then there's the Raiders, the Titans, the Browns, and the Saints. This is the company we hold. It just is. And I'm looking at Tankathon. There are 3 quarterbacks going in the top 5. If you can find a way into the top 5, right? The season from hell continues. We keep losing. And you find your way into the top 5. You are now in a position where you can trade back, right? We gave up the 2nd and 4th to get Laramie Tunsil, right? Maybe you can get a 2nd round pick back and move down a few spots, and maybe not far enough down where Caleb Downs is still available. That's a name that's being thrown out, right? The safety from Ohio State, for example, right? So there is a positive in either direction. I prefer winning so that I go, okay, cool. Like, and I know we got some younger pieces that are coming up. I'm feeling excited about this. If we don't, and other teams do start winning and we end up with pick 4, well, then you can probably trade that pick and go down to 10 or 11 or something like that and see what's there, right? Because we do need younger pieces. This team is the oldest it's been ever, and it's the oldest team that's been trotted out in the NFL in the past few seasons across all teams. So we need to get younger.
It's just, you will not, just as a future, I mean, it's gone back a few years now for me. You'll never hear me talk about draft position before the season's over. You're never going to hear me talk about like who's got to win or lose to get this, that, and the other. Unless we're talking about like a generational talent at the top position. If we're talking about like Andrew Luck's there, Trevor Lawrence, who is a generational talent, even though he hasn't necessarily played like one in the league. But unless it's one of those guys, I don't like let the chips fall where they may.
That's why the moment we were about to play San Francisco, 2023-2024 season, I began going, once I saw Jayden play, I was like, I don't mind losing. I don't mind losing a couple KDot. Like, I was just like, we're right there. This kid's good. Let's go over to the Nathan Perry again. Shout out. Remember pre-draft, one of the things DQ said he looked for in a quarterback was what they did after an interception. Daniels chasing down the defender is exactly who they drafted and want. So that's one. And here's the other from Nathan. Marcus was the one praying next to Zach before he headed out. Yeah, well, Jayden definitely felt that injury. Yeah. He more than likely feels responsible for it. He will blame himself even though he wasn't on the field. And that's exactly why. Zach and others came out to play this year because of JD5. He's carrying all that on his shoulders, and it's a lot. That got 4 thumbs up. And honestly, I do my best with the District Divided account not to thumbs up or react until we do the comment mailbag. I agreed with this comment. I thought it was very well written. KDot, your reaction?
Couple things. I agree. You want to see the effort when somebody does that from an interception standpoint. I would just say maybe get some practice in. Don't get hit by a person that's that much slower than you, getting blindsided like that.
Well, it's Isaiah Rodgers, which made it equally worrying. It's a guy around your speed, but it's a corner.
He got lit the fuck up. Like, I didn't like that. I was like, you could play that a little bit better if this is what you're going to do. Also, shout out to the guy that did make the fucking tackles. That was some hustling shit right there, and I like to see it. Beyond, and it was Terry, right? It was Terry McLaurin. Yes, Jayden's got a lot, and this goes back to the thing is that I look at this team and I say the thing that I've noticed very early on is I'm worried about where they're at mentally. And I can see that with Jayden and the hero ball he's trying to play. And, like, that's what is holding on the football, looking for the deep shot, or looking for the thing that's clear. He doesn't want to make the mistake. You can see it. He does not want to make the mistake. And he wants to win. He wants to get the most yards and the most that he can get out of this thing at any given point in time. That, to me, speaks of somebody who thinks he's got to get everything done himself, right? That's the thing that I want broken. Is that you're not you know what Washington did a really good job of last year? Not having him be the fucking savior. How much time did we talk about last offseason about like, yo, they did a good job not giving up to the press availability. We did a great job as far as not doing this, making sure that, oh no, he's got to earn it before we got to give him anything. And he did. And right now we're in a position where it feels as though because of the way that everybody talks about, because of what we saw last year, he has become the savior.
Yep.
And now because that he has pressure. I don't want any of that shit. And I think that there's an understanding of like, play him under center. Why? Strip that shit away from him. Like, get rid of, force the issue. Force the issue.
The reason I didn't pick Jayden for MVP this season, I know others did, is because I thought we would strip it down a little bit. Where it is, we're actually running the ball a bit more. And like Deebo Samuel represents a level of physicality. Laramie Tunsil represents a level of physicality. And it's like, no, they're they're out to bring the boombox, I guess. Like, I don't know. It's just like, why not lean into what the move suggested you would do?
They have at times, but that's the front.
But it works when they do.
Right!
They just don't do it often.
What the fuck?
Anyway, so it's all there. It's all there. It's always been there. Ridgewear Helmet Act goes, Zach Ertz, Hard Knocks made me want to cry. I'm not going to lie, I did. Like, especially when they had Zach on. I mean, once they're not stretching, gosh, what is it? Carting. Once they're carting him off and he's actually in tears, I was mad that they showed that. I know that it's like it's peak TV and all that stuff. That's the last thing in his career. Like, I'm sure he's retiring at this point. You know, I was just like, man, I wish they didn't show that part. Like, because he held it together on the field, and that felt like a private moment to me. I was pissed that they showed that. It got me emotional, but I was just like, I don't know. I was mad that hopefully he okayed that, but I was just mad. Sorry.
I don't give a shit if he okayed it or not.
I do.
But my thing is that, like, it was an emotional moment, but it's depending on how you want to read the moment. Like, to me, when I watched it, it was heartbreaking. But I also know that, like, there's the bravado, machismo, bullshit football guy that says, oh, man, he was crying, like, going out. Like, but then I'm also like, this motherfucker's played this long. He's been this sort of dude. And you know why he's back. And you know what he believes in. And you know how he's been, especially going into that game and coming out of the last couple games. He's been the guy trying to put the team on his back to do shit. You see the amount of targets and stuff that he's had. I look at that as the ultimate, that's a human fucking moment that everybody needs to treat as a human fucking moment and realize they're not commodities. They're people.
Yeah.
And the thing with the people, and that's what I like. I want to see as many of those person moments as possible, because as someone who's getting really fucking sick and tired of answering the call or seeing tweets where people treat these people as though they're nothing except whatever their output is on the fucking football field. Like, I want to see a human moment, because that is a real man that went through it and felt it. So anytime that any one of you fuckers in the DC sports media wants to start coming for everybody's head in the way you do, or start talking about these guys the way you do, remember shit like that.
Well, remember, we're good about this, by the way. I think we're very good about humanizing the players and stuff like that. Remember the Emmanuel Forbes stuff? That got
Benjamin
dark.
St. Ass juice is stuck in my brain, bro.
Yeah, I still don't even say it. You know, like, I'm just like, it's Benjamin St. Juice. Like, but the Emmanuel Forbes stuff was horrible. And actually, I was so proud of us looking back at our tweets, looking back at our videos. We never once, in fact, we defended the kid over and over and over again. We're like, the coaching staff is screwing with him. Yeah, exactly. And it was just like, yeah, be better.
They're people. Talk like you boil it down to the output you get on your fantasy team, or whether or not they put cash or not put cash in your fucking FanDuel account. They're human beings.
Yeah. We go over to Martin Collins. He goes, "What the fuck? Bobby Wagner is the only consistent tackler on our defense." Which, once again, yes, true. Still, yeah, right. Still like to see some of the younger guys continue to get opportunities. Get out your reaction.
When Bobby gets his hands on you, pretty much a surefire tackle. He's got to get his hands on you.
Right. Yep. Here's Coach. The thing about playing under center is that your timing is based on your feet as opposed to your eyes, and no one trusts Jayden's eyes. I'm all about putting in the young guys and seeing what happens, but Jayden looks awful, and I don't see him getting any better in the next month. I think he needs a full off season to flush the bullshit. Best of luck next season. So that's one. And I believe Coach has another, so I'll put those together real quick. Here. This Jayden Daniels BS isn't a football thing. It's a fan and media thing. The last 4 games of the season don't matter because the team is eliminated from the playoffs and every team starts 0-0 in 2026. If you think Jayden playing the final 3 games this season will give him more confidence, I disagree. Philly has an elite defense. Dallas is interesting, and Jayden looks like a black Tim Tebow. And unlike that Denver team, Washington's defense, I agree, and special teams are ass. Jayden playing games is all about trying to create an off-season media narrative that Jayden just had a fluky bad season and 2024 Jayden is still in there somewhere. I'm not sure that's true. My point is that Jayden is getting near zero support from the coaches or the roster. Jayden had a historically great rookie season. He was playing against awful teams, and the Cliff Jayden film hadn't had film yet. What do you guys think about DQ/Cliff, etc., playing Mariota over Jayden at the New York Giants? Has that decision changed your analysis about whether Jayden should play again this season? KDot, your reaction to the 2 comments.
No.
Because of
I don't believe in shutting guys down if they're healthy. Now the question is he healthy? And outside of the, like, I just don't, I don't buy it. I don't believe in it. I'm not a fan of tanking or any other shit. Also, there's one thing, if Mariota was getting lit the fuck up, okay, maybe we got some, maybe I do need a punching bag out there instead of the franchise, right? That's not the case. And also when watching the All-22 film, I saw the first drive, motherfuckers. I saw he's capable of doing the shit. It's just not consistent. And the only way we're going to get it consistent is from the fucking play. And if you want to wait until an offseason to correct anything that's happening as far as this guy, it ain't fucking basketball. It ain't working on your goddamn shot. It's football. Get better. And the only way you get better is fucking playing. So I'm not there. I'm not going to be there. And the Tim Tebow comparison, fuck off.
Yeah, the Tim Tebow.
Who was it to write that comment?
Oh, it was Coach.
Whose comment is this? Coach, dog, like, that felt so fucking toothless as far as that goddamn comment goes, okay? Like, I get where it is you're coming from as far as trying to have some big fucking mark or moment as far as what's happening with the sports media and the way they're looking at Jayden and this, that, and the other. Fuck off. Go worry about your own goddamn season. Go Chargers, you piece of shit.
And Jalen Hurts, who better fits the description.
God, that makes me... What the fuck was that man?
Insane.
Tim Tebow, that's completely unnecessary.
Insane. It was completely insane. Here's the thing. Playing Mariota over Jayden at the New York Giants has not changed my thought at all. Jayden needs to continue to play. He needs to continue. He's young. Like, that's the thing. He's not a year 5, year 6 guy. He's young. Bubble wrapping him leans into the savior complex. Right? Like, that is, so all the more reason not to. It's like, hey, you're a year 2 guy. It's been a tough season. Let's get a couple of good games under our belt. It's important. It's important heading into the offseason. So I also disagree with the idea that he can't build confidence over the next 3 weeks. I just fundamentally disagree with that. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Here is the Nathan Perry.
One more thing?
Sure.
That one touched a nerve. that one hit something. I said this last week. I'm going to say this again. Look, at the end of the day, I have my way of the way I want to develop quarterbacks. The way I want to develop quarterbacks means that Jayden Daniels wouldn't have seen the field last year. That's me. Didn't happen that way. Once you get the guy to start playing, you don't fucking bench him to get confidence back. He's playing now, okay? And that's what's happening. He's got to learn. And my thing is that, like, if at the end of the day, the only way in which he's going to get better is bubble wrapping and this, that, and the other, guess what? It didn't work out and he's not your quarterback.
Ben Standing actually tweeted that going, well, say the quiet part out loud. You don't trust him.
You don't trust him. So if you're not going to trust him, then fucking let's move on.
And I trust him. And a lot of people do. You have to until he proves otherwise. So
what the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? What are y'all talking about?
Eagles fan, what do you expect? Right. So there's also that.
Not to mention you saw everybody in the fucking division worried about Jayden. Huh, motherfuckers?
I'm telling you, he's got that aura about him. They know how good he is.
Damn.
The Nathan Perry goes, I'm not expecting much the rest of this season. What I want to see is attitude and effort. Bring back the vibe from last year. Doesn't get much worse than 31-0. Show some fight, please.
100%.
Jamal Baby Charbonneau goes, we just need our coaches to be able to read paper maps. Can't really rely on GPS. People expressing frustration with the coaching staff. KDot, hear reaction.
I got a lot. Look, if there's one word that I get to describe this season and why it is the way it is, it's injuries. That's it. That's my number one thing. This defense does not. I don't think we get 31-0 if Dorrance Armstrong and Javonte Jean-Baptiste are here the entire season. If Dietrich Wise is somebody we can rely on the outside the entire season. Just don't think that's the case. If Trey Amos was playing the way he did and it continued to look better, I don't think the secondary looks the same. So, like, at the end of the day, look, injuries are going to be the thing. I do give the coaching staff a lot of shit as far as, like, hey, accept the reality that you're in right now and pivot now instead of just waiting. But I do know that there's a balance and there's a nuance there, and everybody's got to find their road. But that's where I'm at with it. Everybody deserves a little bit of the blame pie, but there is some shit that's happening this year that's outside of everybody's hands.
Big Javi, shout out, goes at the 257 mark. Exactly, Amit. He gets pushed and he falls on his arm. That's all it took? Really? He stayed down, so it definitely hurt him still. He was not 100% healthy. He should not have played. KDot, your reaction.
And that might be the thing, is that whenever Jayden thinks he's clear, wait a week. Like, maybe that's the
This
thing.
might be what's happening right now.
Possibly. But that's the thing, is like, you heard the question that Dan Quinn got as far as like the Adam Peters of it all, and when it is, or the flip side as far as the positives as far as benching him. And it seems like they're open to the possibility or the prospect of that. But I also think that the main reason of that is that he's not healthy.
He's not. He's not healthy. And so that is, well, hold on. He's healthy, like healthy enough to play. But in this situation, if you want to wait an extra week to make sure that I've said 100%, right? There's healthy and then there's 100%.
Yeah,
if you want him there, then wait, it's fine. And I don't consider that shutting him down either.
Right.
It's just like, hey, let's get you all the way right. And like, now play, right? It's not, let's get you all the way right. Let's find the nearest bit of bubble wrap. And there you are the rest of the season. No, not that.
But that's my thing, is that I want to be in a situation where he could play at 70% healthy. And the reason I'm good with him playing at 70% healthy is because you're getting rid of the fucking football on time.
Sure. I mean, I see what you're saying. I would venture on the side of caution there, considering how many overcompensation injuries we're seeing.
But that's my thing. That's the lesson here in what he's got to learn going forward is, dude, you're special. No taken away. But you know what happens when you're relying on special the entire time? We lose a lot of games. And you're probably going to get hurt, right? Not sustainable. But you know what Mariota did? Kept us in more games because he just got rid of football. Can he do anything that you do? No, he can't, right? But if Cliff Kingsbury, if everybody else starts realizing, like, hey, if we play him under center, it avoids the opportunity for him to do certain things. If we run the football at a higher clip, that avoids the opportunity for him to do that. I want to remove the hero ball.
Right. Well, I think the simplest way to do it is, and this is hard for a young guy to get through his head, but like you have to, is, hey, for each game you miss, we lose. So when you miss a game and you take an extra few yards here and risk potentially getting hurt, recognize you're making a potential play at the next 3 games for us. We could lose 3 games because you try and get 3 more yards, right? Think about it that way. And when you think about it that way, I think he should take better care of himself, but you'd have to say it a few times, right? It's like, hey, we love Marcus, but he can't do that Denver game. If you're in instead of him, for example, this is what you put through Jayden's head, right? Whether you believe it or not, based on who's playing better, that's fine. But you play that game, we win, right? Like, that's what it has to be. And the reason you're not is because you went too hard in the Seattle game. That's the reason, right? Like, in a needless spot. Think about the future games too.
100%. And it's about the availability. Because I would say, honestly, I haven't seen anything on field that I would say Jayden did not do or couldn't do because of his injury.
Mm-hmm. Ridge, where your helmet at goes NFC East quarterback rankings. Dart, then Dak, then Jalen, leader of men, and RG5. KDot, your reaction. Oh, it's only funny because I know who this is coming from.
Go fuck a co-ed. Leave the goddamn comments alone. And make sure you check the IDs.
Here's Jim Morris. Shout out. I still believe JD is the one. Pick any team in the NFL and they can all relate to a crappy season. Younger players around Jayden. Beauty of the NFL, there's always next year. Everyone bagging on JD loved him to death last season. Don't forget how much fun last season was for all of us. Deal with it, folks. I love that comment. KDot, your reaction.
I know I did. I know you did. The entire time we were watching everything that happened last season, there was one major takeaway. Can we make sure he's not the only guy running the offense next year? Because we're relying on him entirely too much.
Also true.
And this entire offseason, that's been like my mantra, right? Mm-hmm. Take the pressure off the kid. Take the pressure off the kid. And what have we done?
The moves were.
And now what's happening? He's the only person that can get us anything anywhere ever. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That's not sustainable. If that's going to be the case, everybody be very, very prepared for some very long and dark seasons.
Vindo goes, next week is the Caleb Downs game. If we lose, we're definitely going to have a chance for him. If you don't know him, just wait. Maybe the savior Quinn needs on that defense, to be honest. 2 thumbs up over there. Caleb Downs was against safety out of Ohio State. Some people say best defender in the nation across any position. KDot, let me ask you this. This game, right? Let's say it's the Caleb Downs game, right?
Yeah.
If we run the ball 30 times, do we win?
Can't tell you that.
Okay, because I'm saying it's undoubtedly yes. I just don't think we do.
I can't give you that. The defense is too unsure, and like the idea of at any given point in time, Dart could throw a bomb to Darius Slayton and it's over. Is something that's going to be in my brain. It's one thing if I've seen go back to that Jayden Daniels piece, like the clutch piece as far as like him and what we did last year, which is like, all right, final drive, chew the clock, make sure they don't get another possession. I don't necessarily see that with these guys.
Okay. That's fair. I just think that if you're able to run the ball, we get back to complementary football, which we did last season, because there was a bit of Jayden running, it was a bit of running the ball, and it was short passing. Those were all 4 to 6 yard chunks that ended eating time of possession in our favor.
I get you.
Reduced, yeah. And so that's what I think.
And when I painted the picture of Washington winning the game, that's what I said, relying on the run, time of possession sort of thing. So I'd say that like if we ran the ball 30 times in this game, I'd put that as a much higher likelihood that we've won this game.
Sure. That's fine. Doesn't need to be a guarantee. Jamal Bibi-Charbonneau goes, on a positive note, this season may turn out to be a blessing in disguise for everyone with all the negative we have experienced. I will remain 100% behind our GM, coaches, and players. Nothing will be taken as granted in 2026. KDot, your reaction?
100%. I'm all about it. How you remember all last year, there was also a part of me was begging to have the Jayden Daniels bad game. Mm-hmm. And the reason I wanted is I wanted to see how you face adversity. This is a season of adversity. And this is why I like listen back to Von Miller podcast about what next year feels like. My only thing going into next year is that what are you? We need to have an understanding of who we are, because I can't have it year 3 and we're still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I will feel more confident around next season because now with the way the defense is playing, it is veering towards Joe Witt is not going to be the defensive coordinator. Maybe he is open to staying on staff in some capacity. I know they're close. Dan Quinn cannot make the defensive coordinator hire. It needs to be Adam Peters. It's a GM's job to begin with, but it needs to be somebody that isn't. It feels too buddy right now with everybody. And I think that this is a situation where you saw it with Howie. Howie picked, what's his name? Vic Fangio. And Nick Sirianni was like, I got my guys in mind. And it was like, nope, sorry, it's Vic Fangio. Guess what? They had the number 1 defense. I'm not saying we're going to have the number 1 defense, but it's okay to make the non-buddy hire or non-connection hire. I know how connected Dan Quinn is. I know. But it's also okay to go outside of that. Then I feel a bit more confident of, okay, we're taking this a bit more seriously. So that's just a thought of mine.
Best guy for the job.
Yeah, best guy. Thank you. Best guy for the job. Could be a Dan Quinn guy, but best guy for the job.
Just chemistry, all kinds of things that factors in.
It does, certainly. Martin Collins also goes, we definitely need to be playing with our younger guys or younger players, as you say. This is about next year. Jayden Daniels will be our future if we're capable of protecting him with our running game and his own abilities. Please, everyone, don't give up on this team and organization. Get out your reaction.
Do you see what our record is?
Yeah, 8-5 and 7-6.
No.
I know. I know. Go ahead.
Piece of shit. As I've been saying for a long portion of this year, I want to play the young guys because there's a chance they're better.
Yes.
I want to win these games. And I actually think potentially winning these games means playing the young guys. That's where I'm at.
I feel like you're saying everything, but I don't trust the coaching staff. Like, you were saying all the things that if you check the boxes, it's like you don't.
Look, spoiler alert, if anybody wants to understand what's happening in this podcast, what's going to continue to happen in this podcast, there are 2 things that are happening, okay? Amit was in the bag for Jayden before it happened. Yes. I was in the bag for Dan Quinn before it happened.
Yes.
We are fighting for those
things. I'm not saying, by the way, I want to be very clear. I want Dan Quinn back next season. I'm not one of those that I'm like, oh, if we lose out, no, I want him back. I see how people respect him. The NFC Championship game was electric, and he still has pull. So I want him, just to be abundantly clear. I got a problem with the defense being as bad as it is, and the offense not running the fucking ball. Like, when they're good at it over and over and over again. That doesn't make sense to me.
I got you.
B. Wheeler goes, I need them to try and acquire as much jump off the screen talent as possible. Agreed. While locker room guys play an important role, it is more essential to get legitimate speed and talent. Miss me on the Boy Scouts persona and get some dogs who want to eat ferociously. Right there with you, B. Wheeler. That sounds like music to my ears. That's what I thought Laramie Tunsil and Deebo Samuel were to represent. More of that, please. Hopefully in the draft. KDot, your reaction.
I think they have some of those guys, but they're just not there. So like Frankie Louvu, Debo, Laramie, it's like they're right there, but they're not like over the top with it. I still look back at last year and I'm looking at the vibes that happened last year, and I think so much of the vibes are who we were playing and beating up teams or barely winning that just makes you feel alive. And I really do think the major thing the more and more I think about it as we're going through this episode is how much the savior complex aspect that everybody started to buy in is really starting to impact this team.
No, the moment you said it, I'm sure you heard me go,
Yeah.
Like I was like, wait, I think you just hit on something like that. Yeah. Probably best, smartest thing that has been said on this pod for weeks or months. Like, just nailed it.
It's hard to say anything smart watching this fucking team, right?
Well, that's also true. But here's Spencer Brudig. Shout out with the heart emoji and 3 fire emojis. Appreciate you always checking in on us, Spencer. Hope the new addition to the family is doing well. Also, so sweet. And here's Earl Bruce concluding the comment mailbag. When he was first hired, Adam Peters was asked by David Aldridge what he thought of the roster that he inherited.
The pause.
A long silence spoke volumes. The Rivera drafts hadn't seen any blue chippers, so he cobbled together a roster that overperformed and went to the NFC Championship game. Daniels turned out to be a phenomenal rookie quarterback, so the Super Bowl window was open. Trades were made, free agents signed, and players were drafted. None of which helped because the injury demon and a serious lack of talent crippled the team. Mm-hmm. So now the real rebuild starts. AP and DQ have 3 years to restock the talent, maintain a strong culture, and develop Daniels. Others have done it before, so I'm hoping that they succeed. I want a 4th Super Bowl trophy before I shuffle off this mortal plane. KDot, your reaction to the comment.
Rebuild has already started. That being said, I need to see whether or not we have some foundational pieces of it, and that comes with playing some of the young guys and seeing whether or not they're better than some of the vets that we have out there at this particular point in time. There is not a single person on this coaching staff I want to fire. There's not a player or a starter that I'm like, I want you cut. None. I really do look at the injuries as being the big thing this year. And I do think that I just want to see some stuff to make us all feel better about who it is we are and what this offseason is about as far as getting back to next season. That's what I'm trying to look for. But there's not a person that I have completely lost faith in.
When I look at the regression of Mike Sanders still, when I look at some of the types of tackles Quan Martin's putting on film, right? Like when I see that stuff, I go, and I think we will get a new defensive coordinator. Like, I want the new guy to reinstill confidence in these guys because then I'm worried about Trey Amos also regressing. Right? Like, so for me, it's very important that people were now on the fence about, like, entering this past season. I think we were like, Mike Sanders still. That's a dude. Right now, it has been so bad that we're like, is he? Right? Like, we need somebody that is going to instill confidence in these guys and put them in position to be able to do their stuff. We've seen it, right? Like we've seen, there was that one game, Mike Sanders still was lined up against AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, and he stopped passes on both of them, right? Like he's got it in him. And Trey Amos, as you have been saying since the very beginning, best corner on the team, right? So like, it is important to me that the coaching staff, maybe it's Joe Witt again, but that the coaching staff instills confidence in these guys to make the plays that they need to make. I believe that there is more talent here than people think, but we need to see it. And I think for that, it's a coaching thing.
I think universally, from fans to the front office to the coaching staff, have not taken a realistic approach to the injuries. I think that you have the Commanders coaching staff that want to stick to what it is they want to do, regardless of what it is that's happening as far as the injury stuff. And that's not sustainable when you have the talent is now lacking, right? So like the defensive changes that you make, that you need to make because of the lack of talent on the defensive line or what's happened as far as the cornerbacks should have happened a long time ago. The way that we even look at the expectations we have for this team with the injuries that happened should have moderately changed realistically in our brains. But then I also don't know, is that a good thing that I have a coaching staff that says there are no excuses? Yeah. We got to do this. We got to do that. But then to your point, I think by not taking a realistic aspect to it and not helping these guys out in that particular way has maybe regressed some of them. So overall, probably not a net positive.
Because I think we think about a lot of like, okay, we'll get new players. It's going to be awesome. I get that. I think what we have here is better than what people think. And it's important that we also look inward at the current roster and go, we got guys. Like, they just need to play with confidence.
I stand firm that this healthy team is a 9-win team.
Yeah.
I won't balk on that.
I'm obviously not going to push back on you.
But see, that's I think the talent level on this team when healthy is 9 wins. That's what I thought going into the season. That's exactly what I feel right now. Same way I feel. With this schedule, it's a 9-win team. And then from that, you need to build. That's what I think about this team. Do I think this team is an NFC Championship team? Fuck no. Absolutely not. But you're building towards something. And that's where my mind has always been.
I'll differentiate between the two things. I think that the talent level on this team, and you guys can kill me for this, but I think the talent level of this team is
against Baltimore.
Yes, actually. Like, I do think that no, I still hold.
I know.
Yeah. Like, I think that the talent level with this transcendent talent at QB, you can get to a Super Bowl with this offense, right? But then the problems I have are Jayden's not seeing the field well, in which case, Cliff, being the genius that you are, run the ball. Every single time I see us run the ball, it goes well. So what's going on, right? So, like, that's the one piece, the coaching over there. Then on this side, right, the defensive side, a lot of injuries, right? Yeah. A lot. Dorrance Armstrong being the main example, right? He was number 1 in pressures and pressure rate, and all of a sudden we got the best defensive end in the NFL, right? Like, he's gone. Marshawn Lattimore is gone. Will Harris is gone for a long period of time, right? And early on, it looks like that could be something. We're figuring that out. And Mike Sanders still has confidence at the time, right? Like, that first game against the Giants was awesome. And then all of a sudden, everyone gets hurt, and here we are. I also think that is injuries and coaching. So in terms of the talent level, though, I don't really have questions. Like, that, if we ran it back with this roster plus a few more younger guys, I'm moderately excited, depending on what the coaching staff looks like and the growth of Cliff Kingsbury. He's not going anywhere. Like, the growth of Cliff being like, hey, we need to run more. And then the new DC, I'm, again, assuming that happens, being able to instill confidence in these guys. Then I feel really good about this team. I do.
Yeah, I'm still capping and just north of 500.
You are correct, to be clear. like, I know what my mind's doing, but I recognize you're right.
I'm just saying, defensively, if you see what's happening right now and the fact that we're lacking the pass rush more than anything, can you imagine, like, Jacob Martin's kind of come on, right?
Yeah.
Imagine Jacob Martin being a rotational player along Von Miller not being relied on anywhere near as much as he is because you have Dietrich Wise and because you have Dorrance Armstrong doing things like or Javonte Jean-Baptiste, any of these guys, like, in the rotation. And then you had other dudes that, like, can come on or do the rotation the way you wanted to do the rotation. Now they're stuck. And, like, that's where you're at with this, is like that to me is like that. I look at that and I'm saying, okay, you had some issues in the secondary going into this season. Trey Amos is a rookie. None of us trusted Marshawn Lattimore necessarily fully. We wanted to believe in him, but we didn't trust him going into this season. So you knew you had questions. And the safeties overall, unless they're playing at the line of scrimmage, we all have questions as far as the safeties go. So, like, there was always going to... So what are you going to have if you have the secondary an issue? You need to have a defensive line that's going to get somewhere. And where's that? Where have we been absolutely decimated?
Yep, that line.
So the one position that all of us had as number 1 this last offseason didn't necessarily get addressed, and then all the guys got hurt. Like,
yeah, fair point.
Godspeed.
And this was the show. This was District Divided, a DC Sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching the comment mailbag episode where we happen to talk about Hard Knocks. We happen to talk about the New York Giants. We happen to talk about, what was it? The All-22 review. The comment mailbag was an hour. I just checked. Like, it was a long comment mailbag episode. That's why I called it as such. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and KDot.
Share this shit and try to have fun watching football this weekend, guys.
Just from the neutral NFL perspective, there are some great games coming up. So this coming Thursday, Rams Seahawks. Oh my God, I'm so excited for that. Like, that's gonna be a game for the 1 seed.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, there's some more fun to have.
Oh, there's a lot of fun to have. So until then, take it easy, everybody. Enjoy the football.
Bye, everybody.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.